I loved camp actually. Like it's a grind, but you're there with all the guys, and it's so secluded and away from everybody.
It is cool, yeah. Mike T always, will graduate like offensive lineman. I remember this guy, he went like 5 reps in a row. They were rotating people, and then Cam got him with like
a spin move.
Cam got him with a spin move. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Christian Kuntz Podcast. Here are my boys, Vinny and Trey. We got Jesse behind the boards. I'm here with a very special guest, straight out of Sioux Falls. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
I said Sioux Falls first. Yeah. I saw him in the elevator. I'm like, Sioux Falls. He was like, what? Anyway, Mason McCormick, number 66. Yes, sir. Mace, how you feeling today?
I'm good. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. You sore?
I'm good now.
You good? How long are you sore after games?
2-3 days.
Yes,
so.
Me too. I'm like more of a 4 or 5 till Thursday.
Because you're old now,
sure
buddy.
You
Do you notice a different soreness from AFC games, though? AFC North games, I should say.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like we kind of approach the games the same way.
Yeah, we want to run the ball.
We want to run the ball.
Everyone knows Pittsburgh won. Did South Dakota State want to run the ball?
Of course.
Did they run the rock against Duquesne?
Back in 2018, I'm sure they did.
2018.
You guys played each other?
Yeah, no. He redshirted. I was graduated. It doesn't even count. You know what I mean?
Oh, so you're saying
they got
that.
us.
Okay.
They got us. And their hoop team just got our hoop team yesterday.
Really?
Beat us by 9.
Man.
They're like our big brother.
Damn.
Like that?
It's terrible. It's terrible. I wanna hop right into this. I keep grabbing it down there. I keep doing it again. I just do it. Now I'm thinking about it every time. Mace, you being drafted, to Pittsburgh, and I don't know if you knew that before, Coach T, like the 66s that wore that number before, Dave DeCastro and then Alan Faneca. Were you aware of that when they drafted you here? And you were like, holy shit, they're giving me 66? Or were you kind of like,
I wasn't completely aware, I would say. I had heard of those guys before. But I didn't know the true meaning behind number 66, and it's pretty cool, now that I get to wear it, for sure.
Did you not know until this past week when he kind of, highlighted that?
Yeah, no.
Because that was sick.
I didn't know that.
That was sick. He put them on, Mike T put on, we want to run the ball. Everyone knows in Pittsburgh we want to run the ball. We want to be physical and whatever, and he kind of just motivates people in different ways, and, with him wearing 66, he kind of not called him out, but just put it on blast. The guys that wore this before you were straight goons, Hall of Famer, and then Dave, arguably unbelievable. He kind of called him out on it. It was cool.
Yeah, I feel like it's a cool honor to be able to wear it, especially in the city. 66 has meant a lot to this city. So
where do you get this whole? You're a little nasty out there. You like getting a little extra.
Big nasty.
It's to the whistle. It's full blown to the whistle. Where's that come from?
I feel like that's always the way I played the game. But South Dakota State, that's something that they really drive. Effort and finish. That's something that they pride themselves on, and I grew accustomed to it, and it's just kind of became who I am.
You could definitely tell. I'll say that right now, bro. You can just tell in everything that you do. You have one pancake block, bro. You on the ground. You ain't even see where the ball went. You just pointing forward like this. I'm like, where the fuck is you pointing?
That's one thing. You celebrate a skill position. I've
he
noticed
does.
that.
It's
I
hilarious.
like that about you.
Yeah, I feel like you got to have fun with it. As an offensive lineman, what plays do we get to celebrate when we convert a 4th and 1, or we get that game ceiling when Russ got that guy to jump offside.
Yeah.
Those are our fun moments, and
that was a great
obviously
moment.
everything with football's fun, but to have those plays and celebrate, I feel like brings more energy to the group and the offense as well.
Did you play basketball in high school?
Yeah, I did play.
I can
basketball.
tell.
Yeah.
I can tell.
Yes.
I can tell. The box out game crazy. That's all I gotta say. Box out game crazy.
What happened on that? Because we talked about this for a couple weeks now. We were trying to get you on. It just didn't work out with the short week. But with the box out block, are you taught that?
Coach,
if you do get beat,
it's a last resort thing.
Yeah.
So I went and I overset him inside, and he jabbed back outside, and so I overreacted back outside, and he had my inside.
Bad.
And so I couldn't I couldn't get back in front of him like this, so I just turned around that way and boxed him out. And honestly,
it worked.
It was easier than you think. Like I could see Russ actually, which made it nice. You know, like I could feel the guy behind me, and I could see where Russ was trying to maneuver in the pocket.
Technique. Yeah.
And so it did make it easy, but that's not something. I mean, that's not a position you want to be in. But at the end of the day, it got the job done.
You had like 100 boards. You had to. Like you had to be a rebounding
for
machine.
Sure,
Like,
effort. Getting rebounds and playing defense for sure.
You were a role player. I was a role player too. Probably a little better than you though. Probably just a little more skilled.
Right.
1-on-1, who's winning right now?
Me.
I would wreck him. Are you kidding me? What's he better than me at?
Shooting. I stand
With
back
that
there.
finger?
Yeah, with the finger. Yeah.
Look at him covering.
I can shoot lefty.
you can shoot lefty.
No.
I'm about to say, why are you lying on your own show like that?
I can barely shoot a lefty layup. It's bad. I can get a lefty layup.
Could you hoop?
I started 3 years on our high school hoop team. Yeah, we were pretty good.
You said you started.
I didn't even play basketball.
Won a Whippeal, lost
to
a Whippeal, lost in the state championship. We were loaded.
Who'd you have on the team that year?
TJ McCormick.
Of course.
Yeah. My sophomore year when we won, we had a guy.
How many
that's
points
in
did
the
he have
NBA.
in the championship?
What he averaged? So just his average, 34. He averaged 34. It was actually disgusting.
So basically, none of y'all shot the ball.
Nah, I'd get a rebound, no joke, and I wouldn't even go past half court. I'd just wait for my guy to come back on offense. I'd be like, go ahead and
Thank
get him.
you.
Go get him. Go score. That's literally what I would do. But Mace, talk to us about. We had Fahoko in here last week or 2 weeks ago. He was talking crazy shit on offensive linemen. Give us your input on that. Give us, you saw it and you felt a little slighted by it.
Well,
Here we go.
it's just funny hearing that from Fahoko.
Yeah.
You know, like he talks all this crap about us, but at the end of the day, Fahoko talks to the O-line the most. He wants to hang out with the O-line the most.
He does.
And he does all this stuff, and I mean, he talks about us being fat or being lazy, and it's like you're 5'10", 320 pounds. Like, what are we talking about coming at us? So I just thought it was funny, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It's funny, but talk to us about D linemen and the size of these D linemen, because obviously you played in the FCS, but a high level, the best conference in the FCS. But talk to us about the differences in the D linemen and even the skill positions from where you were playing at South Dakota State from here.
Yeah. There's obviously a big difference.
Yeah, sure.
Coming from South Dakota State.
Dexter Lawrence.
We had guys that were good FCS football players, but the jump was definitely a lot, and it took me a little time to get used to. You know, I feel like through OTAs and stuff, I kept getting better and better.
Yeah.
And, you know, the more I'm getting in these games, the more comfortable I'm feeling. And I feel like I continue to get better every single week. There's so much for me to learn, and it's been fun learning.
You know how they say, like, everyone's like, the speed of the NFL is different, or the speed of the next level is different, whether you're in high school, going to college, or whatever it may be. For offensive linemen, defensive linemen, is it so much speed still? Because I feel like there's not much telling from a speed standpoint whether someone's taken off from a stance or what, or is it more like a strength, like?
Strength for sure, somewhat. The speed's definitely faster. You know, just guys knowing their assignments and flying through these holes. Like the linebackers getting you off double teams and stuff. They do a good job. You know, just moving quick.
Yeah.
And that's something you have to get adjusted to.
Who's been like the biggest pain in the ass to block so far?
I feel like we played some really good guys already this year. I mean, Dexter Lawrence came out, and he's having a really, really good year, and he's a really big dude, and he's done a really good job this year. But that's no slight. I feel like we've played a lot of good defensive tackles.
Everybody. That's what I try to explain to people. Like, everybody in the league,
you better be on your game at all times.
Even if guys are hurt, people are like, "Oh, this guy's hurt. You guys are going to win the game guaranteed because this guy's out." I'm like, dude, the next guy that's in is, not that much worse than that guy.
Yeah.
He's still unbelievable.
I don't think worse is the right term either.
It's
like great or slightly below great.
Yeah.
Like
James Harrison was a backup.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about, man.
You're
That's
there
really
for a
crazy to think
reason.
about.
Yeah. So I also wanted to ask here. So what's it like? You know, we got a young line up and coming, right? So how do you feel like being in that position where you're able to like grow with this line over the next, you know, God knows how many years? But you know, are you guys like building that camaraderie early? Like, do you guys feel good about, you know, everybody's fresh, so you're able to kind of like build with each other? Is it any different dynamic than if you were to be plugged in with a bunch of vets? Like, what's your
I would say yes a little bit.
You like it?
Being coming in with other young guys, you kind of are going through the same thing.
Yeah.
And so you can bounce ideas and questions off of each other, and I feel like we're all growing together, and we're only gonna get better together. That bond will get stronger, and we'll kind of learn how each player plays and what we need to do to have success. Because if the guy next to you isn't having success, then you're probably not either.
Right.
And so you just got to keep growing and getting better. There's going to be growing pains, but we look forward to just keep working in that way.
It looks really promising for sure.
Definitely love that. You could tell too, man, because you got your man Frazier next to you, who's also a rookie, right? And then pretty much the age group on your offensive line right now is young, like
Super
extremely young. So you guys got time to grow together and whatnot, man. So like, have you and Frazier met, sat down, talked often, just like trying to help each other out, really trying to figure out like, okay, like how are we going to match up against this guy this week? Because I know there's a lot of double teams, right? And you being a right guard, correct?
Yeah.
You being the right guard and him being the center, you guys are definitely double teamed on the nose and or trying to double to get back to the backers. So like, what's that communication like between you two?
Yeah, I mean, me and Fraze kind of do everything.
They don't leave each other's hip, literally.
We work out
Step
together. We go to
brothers.
meetings together.
That's great.
And it's good for us. I mean, we're
Hell yeah.
competing with each other in small things to keep growing, and just the mental side of it we've grown so much, and so it's definitely good to have a guy, you know, not only that I'm playing next to, but in my same draft class, to continue to develop with for sure.
This sucks to say, but I keep forgetting we have Troy too.
Mm-hmm.
We had 3 offensive linemen. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, you
How's he
definitely
doing?
can't leave Troy out. Like,
No, hell
Troy's
no.
coming back next year. He's working super hard to get back, and he's going to be a phenomenal player come
exciting.
next year.
How's
So,
his recovery going? It's going well for him?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing a really good job.
It's a blessing, man.
now that we had the Steeler talk out of the way, take us to growing up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Roosevelt High School. What kind of high school was that? Were you? I kind of ask everyone this. Were you always like? Were you the best player in high school? Were you recruiting coming out? Was
No,
it a big school?
I wasn't. So Roosevelt is a bigger school in the state. It had like 2,500 kids or so.
That's
my
pretty
senior
big
year.
school. Yeah.
But no, I was super underdeveloped. I hit a growth spurt after my sophomore year of high school, and so that's when I started getting looked at recruiting wise and stuff. But I was always smaller, and I hit a big growth spurt and fell in love with football, and that was kind of everything.
That makes sense. That makes sense because he had short man syndrome at one point in time. Now he played the way he
So
played.
he was
It makes
pissed-
sense.
so he was pissed off.
He's been pissed off for a long time.
Yeah,
you know?
that is how it works. These guys hit a growth spurt and they were pissed off from being bullied, and then they just start whooping ass.
Just whooping ass, you know.
How'd you end up at South Dakota State? Did you like grow up thinking I wanted to go to? Does every kid want to go to South Dakota State that lives there?
Yeah, I mean everybody who is a good enough football player to play at South Dakota State in that state wants to go there.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll have your occasional Power 5 kid, but really, the Power 5 schools don't recruit South Dakota
Because they know they're
'Cause
all
there's-
going there.
Well, not only that, but there's not a lot of guys that are going Power 5 every year. So why would a school that come and spend a bunch of time in South Dakota when there's maybe 1 or 2 guys in the state?
Yeah,
Makes sense.
but like you get it. It doesn't make sense though for them not to recruit there because you're getting guys that go to South Dakota State, and I'm sure North Dakota State's the same thing. They get the North Dakota State kids, and then these teams go in and beat Power 5 teams. Like North Dakota State should have beat Colorado week 1
For sure.
this year, and people were like, "Oh, they beat North Dakota State. They should have." But in reality, bro, like
Don't
those
sleep on
teams,
North Dakota
those
State.
teams,
Oh, yeah.
like in their conference of the FCS, like those teams are absolutely loaded.
For sure.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, because there's it's so under recruited, those areas, all the best players of that state will go to that school. And so you get that and you combine that with our good coaching and the culture and whatnot. I mean, it's kind of an untouched territory. If you look at like the FCS landscape,
It is.
the best schools are the Montana schools, North Dakota State, South Dakota State.
Makes sense.
And
Yeah.
those are the schools that they don't have any FBS schools around, you know?
Right.
And so that's where those kids are going and developing, and it's something cool for sure.
What's there to do other than play football in South Dakota?
I mean, what do you do in any other
Drink with your
big
best
cities?
friends.
Yeah,
Like,
drink, hang out,
Drink with your best friends.
go to the bars.
Hunt and fish. We do a lot of hunting and fishing. There's a lot of cool lakes in South Dakota, so we would go out boating quite a bit.
Hey, you told me
So
that.
that's how they sold you to go to South Dakota State? Is
No,
this-
I mean I'm from 40 minutes down the road.
Okay.
And so really, what sold me is I had a bunch of friends that went there.
Oh yeah.
The coaches were awesome. I developed a really good relationship with them, and I could really see the progression of the program.
Right.
You know, like when I was younger, South Dakota State went Division I, and then they made the playoffs, and you could see. So they make the playoffs the first year, they lose. Then they go to the second round. Then they go to the third round, and then they're in the semis. And that's when I got there. You could really see that they were just continuing like to grow and
Yeah.
Right.
be on the up and up.
Right.
And so I wanted to be a part of something. You know, I was a part of the first national championship, and then we were able to run it back again. And it was definitely pretty cool to be a part of something that you could see so many people poured so much
Right.
time into.
That's where I'm stuck with Duquesne right now. I'll call it out. I want them to like they make the playoffs. Like, you got to win our conference to make the playoffs. And that's tough. Like you got to. They were 8-3 this year. They lost. They just lost this weekend. Tough loss. And now Central Connecticut's going to the playoffs. But I want them. We go to the playoffs we dominate that conference. It's time for us to like make a step and move up.
I feel that.
They're playing Pitt next year.
They are.
I feel like there's
think so,
more.
yeah.
There's
That
a lot
needs to
more
happen.
that goes into that than just that one game, though. Like
Yeah.
you have to invest in the facilities and in the recruiting. And
You
stuff.
already
and
lost.
That's something that South
You
Dakota
lost.
State did.
I lost there.
Like
yeah.
if you look at South Dakota State's facilities within the last 10 years, they put millions and millions of dollars in to get these kids that they were competing with that they wouldn't have normally gotten had
Yeah.
they not had these good-looking facilities. And I feel like also winning breeds success. You know?
Right.
Everybody wants to be a part of a winner, so you start getting on that train, the ball kind of keeps rolling.
Yeah. Then everyone wants to go there.
Have you had a chance to go back at all since you left?
Yeah, I went back for our bye week. It was cool. They played Murray State. I think they won by like 50 or something. But it was still cool to be back and see everybody. And that's something that I think super cool about that area is there's not a lot of guys from South Dakota that are in the NFL.
That's what I was going to ask you.
And so having like everybody welcomes you back with open arms, and they're excited to see you. And I'm excited to see everybody when I
Yeah.
get back. And it's super cool for sure.
What's the rivalry like between North Dakota State and South Dakota State? Because I heard that that's actually a big rivalry.
Yeah.
But like from perspective, like you said, ain't nobody really recruiting from Power 5 in those areas. So if you're a top dog in that area, you're either going to North Dakota State, South Dakota State, or you're going to Montana,
Yeah.
right? So like, what's the beef like? Is it a real beef, or is it just
I
like
would say
It's got to be.
I don't know if it's like beef. I would say it's like a respect. It's actually more respected than you think. Like those guys respect each other. Both schools work super hard and compete and play football the right way. Obviously on the field, it's two of very similar teams clashing.
Yeah.
right?
And so it's all about being physical and finishing, and that's who usually wins the game. If you look back the last like 10 years in that rivalry, I think whoever controls the time of possession or rushes for more wins that game. And that's just the way that game's played. And but I think it's a respect thing for sure. Like it's not super disrespectful.
Do you know a lot of players from on North Dakota State's team? Like would a lot of guys know of people?
Yeah, I mean, once you know of everybody
Yeah.
that's playing there. I wouldn't say I knew a bunch of them like
Personally, but you knew like, okay,
But-
that guy went to this school or
For
whatever.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, you play North Dakota State. It's the biggest game of the year for the regular season.
Yeah.
And then we always would see them again because both of us would get into the
Playoffs.
playoffs, and then so it was cool in the 2022 season, that national championship when we played North Dakota State and got after them. I think we won by 20 in the championship. That was pretty cool.
Is that game always in Frisco?
It has been. I think they're going to continue to have it there for.
Was there a
through
good
2026.
crowd there?
Yeah, I
The
think it
national
was,
championship? I
think
mean, you
it
guys
was
travel well.
22,000 or something.
That's a good crowd. It's a good,
And that's all the stadium held. It was held at a soccer stadium down there, and so they sell it out pretty much every year.
let's did you play field goal protection team in
I've been on field goal my whole life. Yeah.
We've talked about field goal protection team quite often on this pod. Mason's on field goal protection team, and I actually hate that he's on field goal protection team.
Why do you hate it?
Because he talks so much shit. Think about it. If you just get scored on, like you're pissed off.
Right.
Like people think they're gonna take like extra point lightly. They get more pissed, and then they hear him talking shit. Who I'm coming out there fresh. I'm like, okay, friendly game. He's chirping. What do? Double rush, A gap, blow us up. And their feet are behind my feet. So
Don't say blow us up.
blow me up. But dude, he comes out chirping nonstop on field goal team, and I can't stand it.
What are
just
you
having
saying
fun.
out there?
We're having fun.
What are you saying out there?
He's just
though?
I don't
screaming.
think it's anything bad. I think we're just out there, bringing energy and trying to have a little swag
He
and
writes it down.
confidence, and I think it's fun. I think everybody has fun with it besides Christian.
I can tell you're a shit talker though. Like you can see it in your his mannerisms without
Yeah.
even actually like hearing anything, bro.
He's gonna
Like
say something slick to you.
he be
Yeah.
give you some wild shit. What do you be saying to you, yo?
Squirt? What up, Squirt?
Well, he was always talk crap to Zach. He was calling Zach junior center.
I was
like
calling
he's
Frazier.
the senior center. He would call him junior center. So we started calling him the squirt center, little peewee and stuff like
All
that.
these guys short snappers.
Just think about it. I snap further than Frazier. I snap further on both occasions.
And think about
So he's
this:
a junior
nobody
center.
can line up head up on him on either of the plays that he's in.
These are facts.
but they can hit you.
After you're ready.
No, after the ball moves.
After you're ready.
You at least are looking. You at least are looking like this. You smack Zach on the hip, and you're looking at your guy. I'm looking behind me, and then have to block.
You get to tell them when they hit you. Be like, all right, I snapped
I'm
the
ready.
ball.
I'm ready.
Hit me. One, make it look like this.
Three of us are ready. That is funny. You guys are chiming in. That's good. You guys like this shit?
Here's the thing, though. You probably made fun of long snappers too when you were a skill
For
position.
sure,
Yeah.
you did.
So
No
stop
doubt.
acting like you weren't. This is why you're getting it now.
But
Who
this-
was the long snapper at Duquesne? That's what I want to know. I need
Facts.
to hear from this guy.
Facts.
Yeah.
Calvin, Brett Calvin.
You barely remember his name. That's crazy.
No, but listen, I'm not just saying this isn't a disrespectful way to college specialists, but college specialists are totally different than NFL specialists. This isn't a slight. Like I'm saying in a sense of like, bro, they have like 14 specialists on the roster. There's 3 of us. So like with 14 guys, like you're hanging out with 14 guys. You have a guy always to underhand the punter balls or whatever you may be. Like pro specialists, there's 3 of us. We're that's it. We're there together all day, every day. We help each other shag balls, get whatever it is, underhand, whatever it is. So I don't want to hear this bullshit that's going on. I'm gonna put this shit to an end. And college, a lot of teams run the spread punt, so their snappers don't have to block. That's the end of my rant.
I'm sorry, Christian.
The one fake
Fuck.
you snapped short was insanely accurate.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The junior center. Ray, I can't call him that. He put me in a headlock. He put me in a headlock with one arm. I was sitting there lifting, doing like some flies. Sitting there and I was messing with him, called him junior center. He came up and no joke, he put me in a headlock with one arm. His other arm, he's like holding a water bottle. Dude, he took me to the ground. I was like, stop. I don't even think he was trying. Built like a refrigerator. Fuck.
Oh, that might be the new nickname.
Refrigerator?
The fridge. Well, no, that's already stolen.
Yeah.
Who's
the
the
fridge.
who was the fridge?
Refrigerator Perry?
Big black guy. I
Yeah,
forget.
the
He's
guy,
huge.
the Bears.
Bears.
Oh yeah.
Fridge.
Tackle
Famous.
used to- Yeah.
You have any
Is that the 85
nicknames?
team?
He'd be called the deep freezer.
They called
Freezer.
Frazier. I saw some they were calling Frazier the Morgantown Mauler. I'm like, oh my gosh.
See, I'm not a fan
got
just
a
because they
nickname?
put.
Not
No.
really, no.
Something with the jackrabbit we could throw in there.
We should come up with something.
See, with him, bro, every time I look at him, I think of Theo Vaughn just saying, like, we'll just figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, every time I look at his, like, every time I look at his, like, you look at his plays,
I
bro.
guarantee you've never been compared to Theo.
Never.
Let me tell you why. That's what I wanted to do. I'm glad that you asked me. So, the reason why I think it this way, is because every snap that you watch, you're not normal you're not a normal lineman. You do everything unorthodox as fuck. Like I watch you and I'm like, did he mean to do that? Or is he like, is he trying to do that? First it was the box out. And then seeing you get off of double teams, the one that you got off that you were pointing down this way, you just threw your body. I don't even know if you put hands up. You just went straight body. So like to me, you just figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to figure it out. It's not always going to go according to plan, and that's kind of football. It's an imperfect game, and you just got to figure it out, like you said.
How many snow games have you played in before? That couldn't have been your first game.
No, that wasn't our first one, but that was definitely the most.
That was heavy, bro.
That was crazy.
I mean, we
crazy.
probably got dang near 2 inches in
I'd say
20
more.
minutes or
yeah.
something. It was coming down pretty hard.
Was it fun?
It was fun.
It was fun.
It was awesome. I thought.
The first half, the film's crazy. The first half,
Yeah.
the field's like spotless. There's not even a sparkle of snow anywhere.
Right.
And then second half, bro, you couldn't even see like
Yeah,
I couldn't
at
see
all.
where my punt snap went. The camera, you couldn't even see it.
We low key dreamed we used to dream about that as kids though, like to a
For
degree.
sure.
You know what I mean? Like I can't wait to play in the
Yeah,
snow
but
again.
then you get out there and
you
everyone's
hate
like,
it.
everyone's like, shit, the snow is snowing.
It really wasn't that cold though.
No, it wasn't. I went no sleeves. You were probably no sleeves every game. I went no sleeves because I was out there for warm ups and I was like, it's not that bad. Stand by the heater, sit on the bench, keep my hands warm. And then I get out there, second half, I'm like, I should have went sleeves. I was like, damn.
It wasn't that bad.
Oh,
I didn't think.
That's that
but-
kind of snow though that just lays on you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You could see it like stuck in Tomlin's beard and
Yeah.
just like
It was
heavy.
it
was
was
heavy,
It was
for sure.
heavy. It was a heavy fall. What'd you think of the short week? Was that your first time playing? Yeah, it had to have
Yeah,
been.
no, that was my first short week.
weeks are crazy.
Yeah, it flew by.
Dude, crazy.
You're just trying to cram so much into such short amount of time, and it was definitely. I thought it was a cool experience.
How
playing
hard is
much.
that for O-line? Like, I guess you go from Baltimore. You're playing a different front. You're playing different people, different scheme. Like, how hard is that for O-line to pick up and like go in essentially 2 days of prep?
Yeah, I mean it's a challenge, but I don't think it's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Because what you run is what you run.
pretty much every defense in the NFL, they play like another team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like we have a game plan for this team,
Okay, I
and
got
this
you.
team is similar. And obviously the game plan, it doesn't matter. You're never going to carry the same game plan going into a game, but there's definitely similarities between different teams and different personnel and stuff.
How extensive is like our game plan? You don't have to share like what it is or anything, but like compared to a South Dakota State game plan when you're prepping for national championship semifinal game, how much more extensive is like our game plan compared to that?
It's definitely a lot more.
A lot more.
extensive.
In what sense? Like,
South Dakota State, I feel like we had kind of our bread and butter plays that's what we ran.
Yeah.
And no, it didn't matter what defense was going out there. We
You
were
were
going to
running that.
run these plays.
don't work in the NFL like
And
that.
I mean, teams are smart enough to
Yeah.
scheme up and do different things to take certain things away for sure.
I'm always interested in the O-line room. We do a little college football, but I'm always messing with the O-line. Man, I like going in the O-line room, messing with them. But I'm always interested in the O-line prep because, like, everyone pays attention to the skill guys and, like, what they do. Obviously, like, they're making the plays, they're in the headlines, but no one pays attention to the O-line. Like, how sore are you? And I guess I already asked you this, but, like, other guys throughout a whole season, I guess you're in a rookie year, but even, like, college time, like, your body, like, what do you notice the most about your body? Like, I feel my body deteriorating.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't imagine getting hit every week.
Yeah,
in the trenches.
It kind of varies on the game. Some games you make it out and you feel like, holy shit, I'm pretty good. I'm not super sore. And other games you're super sore.
Yeah.
Your fingers, I feel like for offensive linemen, just grabbing and your
Everything.
fingers are always getting twisted and
Yeah.
whatnot. But
What do you wear? You obviously tape up gloves.
yeah, I just tape my wrists and wear gloves.
Sorry.
No, I was just
Go
gonna
ahead.
say one of the things I noticed. You were talking about the short week. The craziest part is you have another short week coming up.
I know.
The Christmas game. Both of those happening after the Baltimore game,
That's crazy.
which is
Yeah.
usually your most physical game of the year, right? Like just the
Yeah.
short week happening after both Baltimore
rough.
games is just
That's rough.
ridiculous. So, like, what's your mindset? Coming out of that, now you had the week off. This final stretch.
Short weeks they're tough, dude. They're terrible. Like, I feel like it's just a money grab for the NFL and Amazon Prime. But our mindset, like, Coach T will instill this in you. Like, we want that. Like, we love that. We love the adversity, especially like late in the year. I know you haven't been around, but like the last couple of years, I don't know, we weren't in this position where we are. We weren't 8-3. We were, like, I was talking to someone today about it. Like, last year, I think we were 4-7 at this point, or 2 years ago, we were 4-7, then routed off like 7 straight. Yeah. When everyone's like, there's no chance in the back half they can win, whatever. Dude, every game, like you saw Carolina played the Chiefs it's an NFL team. Every game's
any given
a
Sunday.
tough game. Yeah, it don't matter.
Yeah, you were there.
And they got to deal with a short week too. You know what I mean? Like it's not just like we're on the short week.
Right.
Those guys we're playing are dealing with it too. So it's like you can't bitch.
And you can't control it either.
Yeah.
And there's no point in wasting time or energy thinking about something that you can't control. It just is what it is.
Your first year was 2020.
2021. I was on the P squad 2020.
Okay, so you weren't there because I remember you guys started 11-0 that year.
Yeah.
And then had 3 games within 12 days or something crazy.
The COVID year, they moved that game to a Wednesday. We played like Washington on a Wednesday, then played on a Sunday versus Baltimore. Yeah.
We have that pretty much again.
I know.
Christmas
Day
game. I think
game.
it's 3 games in 11 days or something like that.
That's a lot, bro.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fighting. Forget just football. That's a lot of fighting.
I'm playing in the Turkey Bowl this.
You're gonna be on crutches next week. I'm not knocking on wood, but I hope you don't come in here in a swing or something.
I just got invited to a Turkey Bowl. I did it last year with this guy, and it was by far the funniest Turkey Bowl that I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Did you dominate?
Yeah, but like,
what's a Turkey Bowl?
Like Thanksgiving, like football with your friends, like tackle football. Like, guys, it's great. It's
you guys want to come?
Here's the thing, though. All of his friends from high school, they're completely opposite from this guy, like to a T. My favorite guy is Ashy Knees. Shout out to Ashy Knees. He was just a different breed of person, bro. So if you ever got a group of friends back home that are in a Turkey Bowl right now, and we're just washed up high school football players who haven't played in a while, essentially.
Washed up college football players.
Sorry, college football players. But
good job.
Put some respect on it. My fault, Vinny. But if you get a chance to just listen to those conversations after, they're hilarious, bro. They're hilarious.
Jess, what do you got? You got any more fire for us?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to.
I know you've been studying this guy and his tape.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a former offensive lineman here myself, so you know.
Jesse, you were an O-lineman.
Yeah.
You were an O-lineman.
I was an O-lineman.
Big body.
I was a left tackle.
Hey.
So yeah, I just want you to like kind of talk to the fans here and like 2 things. Explaining like the technique. I don't think people really understand like O-line and D-line technique. And then I also want you to like kind of explain the savagery it takes to be in the trenches. D-line is notorious for being like absolutely like psycho, and then the offensive line has to contain that. So like just talk about like you're in a car accident every single play. Like it's as simple as that. Like you guys are crushing each other. You know, there's no time to take off a play. So just like, can you explain that to the fans, like what it is like from your perspective, especially coming into the league?
Yeah, I would say from a mindset standpoint, you got to be on every single play. Yeah. You know, like if a defensive lineman takes off a play or two, nobody really notices. Mm-hmm. If we're to take off a play, and that D lineman's all geeked up.
Yeah.
And then we look bad and everybody knows. You know what I'm saying? Like if we go out there and we block this guy 65 snaps, but on the 66th he makes a play,
it'd be game changing.
You played bad. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So you have to be consistent with that mindset for sure. And then from a technique standpoint, you got to be super intentional, especially in this league. I've been learning and growing with that. Just because the defensive lineman will take advantage of things that you do.
Yeah.
And so if you're not on every single play with your technique, you'll get taken advantage of for sure.
Right. And the one other thing I was curious about too. So how did the blocking grades get figured out? Because that's another thing too. Like with stats, I was like, as far as like you know what the quarterback has, running back, wide receiver, etc. But for linemen, even like myself, I don't exactly know how they get graded. I know some of it might be like you didn't let somebody through. Is that all that's graded on? Is it like are pancakes incorporated? Like, how does that go?
I actually have
no
idea.
That's actually greatest answer.
However, I don't know how people grade offensive line play.
Yeah, your O-line, you should have known.
I feel like it's super
it's a
subjective.
Team stat.
Yeah. It's like we go out there as 5 and we're trying to achieve one mission really.
Yeah.
That's
so
great.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's really about the individual success or whatever. It's
of course. Yeah, you guys operate as a team.
Yeah, and from the grading, different plays I feel like are weighted differently as well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like there's
That's what I
some
was-
plays where your block's kind of irrelevant.
Interesting.
But there's other plays where you're the focal point of this blocking scheme, and you have to make this
Yeah.
play.
So is that factored in, or are you just saying that?
Oh,
from,
I
like,
have no, I have
experience?
no,
Okay.
I have no
Okay.
idea.
I-
I'm
okay.
just
Yeah,
saying,
that
like, if
makes
you
sense.
grade 70 plays,
Yeah.
maybe 15 of those plays, I was the focal point.
Yeah,
And like my
okay.
block super like mattered a ton.
That would make.
But
more
do those
sense.
have the same weight as the plays where my block didn't necessarily matter as much? And obviously every play matters,
Yes.
but you
That's
know,
interesting.
you kind of get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
have no clue.
I love that answer. Great.
Speaking of like technique and stuff, what makes a like I noticed you pull a lot of power, a lot of pulling. Like what technique makes like would you say a great offensive lineman? Like Quentin Nelson, I feel like is everybody's epitome of what an offensive lineman should look like, do, act, whatever it may be. But what is your like focal point on what do you think a good offensive lineman does and where he's good at?
I feel like you have to have quick feet,
Heavy hands.
heavy hands. Obviously, you have to be physical.
Yeah.
And play. I feel like
Because you're
not
you're
only
pretty
that
athletic.
that explosive twitch and whatnot,
Yeah.
but that long term finish. You know,
Yeah.
to be able to sustain blocks. I feel like those are really the three biggest things.
Yeah. I feel like all linemen, all NFL
And you
linemen
gotta be
heavy
smart too.
hands.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot that goes
Oh.
into these blocking schemes, and every play the accounts change, and it depends on what the defense gives you. So you definitely have to be smart.
Let me
as
let me
well.
ask you something. When you guys work on it, we work on the silent count a ton. When you're looking back at Russ, you're waiting for him. When people see you tap, like you're tapping Zach to let him know Russ is ready,
Mhm.
and then it's on Zach whenever because we're working on silent.
It's I mean, there's a rhythm to everything.
Yeah.
With those, and you want everybody to be able to see it as well.
So you want to almost
Yeah,
be
and-
more
and
demonstrative.
I only did it one game because that's the left guard who does it. on
Yeah.
offense.
Oh, yeah, it is Isaac.
So I did it in Indy when I was starting at left guard.
Oh yeah, you did.
But yeah, there's a lot that goes into that for sure.
Like everyone's looking at basically Isaac for that. Okay.
Yeah, you have to look at Russ. Russ is ready, and then when Isaac taps Zach,
It's on Zach.
ball's coming soon for sure.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't.
And you switch it up. You have to switch up the head bobs and
Oh,
do different things.
the
so
head
that-
bobs are crazy.
Makes
so that
sense.
D lineman can't get a beat on it. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh,
That's your
know.
thing, ain't it?
Yeah, dude, you got to keep them off balance. If you just let them dig in and tee off on you, you're gonna get beat.
Yeah.
Like,
No, for sure.
everyone's gonna get beat.
You're blocking some of the biggest freak athletes in the world.
Oh.
As D linemen.
The head bobs, like some of it's a little egregious. Like guys are like, I'm like, damn, like
Well, you don't want them to get a jump on you. You know, the cadence is an offensive lineman's weapon.
I
And
watch
you want to be
Christians
able
all
to
the
get
time.
off on that snap.
they're almost moving, the twitching. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I also wanted to ask you about what was your first camp like? Because I also seen like some things going into camp. I heard that you possibly got into a fight or two. I don't know. It's probably false, to be honest with you. But I want to know what your first camp was like because that's like that welcome to the league type
Yeah.
situation. So that's two questions into one. What was your
Pittsburgh
first
camp's
camp was
tough,
like?
too.
And then
I-
who
I
welcomed you to the
actually-
league?
What was your second question?
I said, who welcomed you to the league and what was camp like?
Well, I loved camp actually. Like it's a grind, but you're
You're a
there.
sick
You're there
bastard.
with you're there with all the guys, and
Yeah.
it's so secluded and away from
It is
everybody.
cool, yeah.
And so it's. I mean, obviously it's a lot of football, but it's also you hang out with the guys, you get to know your teammates. I feel like it's a little different in the NFL than it is in college. In college, you're around your teammates all the time.
Always, yeah.
Whereas in the NFL, there's an off season where everybody's away, and guys have families and whatnot and stuff, and so they have different priorities that they have to take care of. So I think Latrobe was a lot of fun, just getting to know everybody and hang out, and obviously develop in the football way. I loved it.
I got a story from you from camp. I don't even know if you remember. I'll watch the O-line, D-line do one-on-ones because that's most entertaining. A lot of people like to watch the receivers do one-on-ones, but it's like, dude, why are we watching the receivers going against a corner, straight-up man with nobody else on the field? It's like, yeah, the receiver should win every time. So I go over, watch the O-line, D-line, and Mike T always, will graduate like offensive linemen. If they're like dogging other D linemen, they'll move up and they'll go against DeMarvin Leal, then this, then Cam. If you keep graduating, you go to Cam Hayward. And I remember this guy, he went like 5 reps in a row. First rep, he dog watered somebody. Second rep, dog watered somebody. Third rep, got somebody again, then they pulled out Cam on the third rep.
Yeah.
And then I think you got Cam, and then the second one was like split. And then by that time, dude, he's dead.
He's
dead.
a bunch of times in a row, and it's not like
not
a
easy.
football play. You get a 40-second break, whereas in those
it was 5 reps in a row, line up full rush.
My man was Spartacus.
They were rotating people, and then Cam got him with like
a spin move.
Cam got him with a spin move, dude.
It was funny. People were saying like they haven't seen Cam spin like that in years.
Dude, he was dead tired, and he tried leaning on him, and Cam but like just to see Cam that big of a human, like, and this dude just went 5 reps in a row, like it was crazy. To see Cam spin
that
like that.
Crazy.
That was a cool experience for sure.
I bet, you were in camp and you dog watered everybody to get up to there, and then Mike T and
he
like
put me in a blender.
Everybody's out there watching though, like Omar, the scouts, Mr. Rooney, like everybody's watching that. So that was a good thing for you, not.
Yeah, no, it was cool for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you probably learned a lot just with it being your first camp, going up against someone like Cam. I'm sure day 100%. After day after day, you learned so much just from making sure that you're not the guy on film at the end of the day that has to.
Hear about it. No, I feel that like Cam's played for, I think this is year 14 now.
14 or
15
15
or 15
He's gonna be a
or
Hall of
whatever.
Famer.
And he's seen so much football that he will pick apart anything that you're doing wrong. And so you really have to be on your game.
That's huge.
Even in practice, because he'll bring it when he's.
I wanted to ask you that too. You can tell, like, obviously the major differences from a veteran like D lineman that has been around than a first round talent that might be first year in the league or second year raw talent. Like, how much of a difference can you tell from like a veteran player?
For sure, you can see flashes of some of these first rounders, and some are more developed than others, but. Some of these vets, are just they're super savvy. They know, they've seen it all, they've heard it all a million times, and so they are able to pick apart your game in ways that you really didn't even know that you were deficient in, I would say.
Wow, it's crazy. It's crazy.
How's Cam do that? Is he kind of just chirping at you during, like, oh, I got you there, or whatever, or is he kind of pulling you aside afterwards and like, hey, I noticed when you do this? Like,
Cam will give me some pointers, but. You can just see it on tape, like, oh, I didn't do this, and that's why he did this, and vice versa.
How much tape do you watch? Like, I know obviously you guys meet for a long time. You guys have a lot of meetings.
Me and Zach are in the O-line room quite a bit.
Yeah, I saw you go up there today.
But I watch at least 5 whole games by myself, and then I watch different cut-ups and stuff. I don't know. Every week's a little different depending on how much time I'm spending in the meeting room, how much time I have at home and whatnot. But I try to watch quite a bit.
What have you got accustomed to for your body wise? Like taking care of your body. Did you take care of your body at South Dakota State, or were you kind of like, let me drink after the game? That's what I did after the game.
I would say it was both.
Drinking.
We definitely had fun at South Dakota State. I mean,
you're
in college.
Yeah, you're drinking after the game.
South Dakota. I mean, it is what it is. But
now
you also have to. We also took care of our bodies there. But coming here, it's to a whole new level. Just the various exercises and things I do to rehab and getting in the tubs and getting massages, whatever. So,
what are your thoughts on Pittsburgh, my city?
your city is crazy.
Man.
Tell them before the game. At Baltimore game. We were.
I can't wait.
He was walking around.
This is like 4 hours before.
4 hours before the game. I'm sitting out on the bench by myself, and Kuntz didn't see me.
I did it.
He was bopping his head and hanging out, having a blast, and I make eye contact with him, and you could tell he was kind of embarrassed. But then he doubled down on it, and he's like, "This is my city. This is my city."
I had my headphones on. I was screaming.
And I was laughing. Just
oh my goodness!
Yeah, it was hilarious.
He's like, "This guy's an idiot." And then I got my finger dinged up on one of those field goals.
You should have heard him. You should have heard him. He was yelling.
Why are you
oh my gosh,
screaming?
Kuntz, are you okay? And,
listen, the fact that he's the only one that hears this is terrible.
No, bring some more guys.
No,
they heard it too.
No, they
heard
didn't.
It too.
It was the last field goal rep.
Spencer Anderson, we can ask him tomorrow.
No, he didn't hear because he was talking shit too. All these guys talk shit on field goal team, think it's funny.
You really take this personal. Like, it hurts you
Bro,
when they
they're
talk
pissing
shit.
these big dudes off. They're pissing them off, and then they full-blown rush. And Mike T, like, encourages it. He's like, Mason, keep talking your shit on field goal. Get Christian fucked up. It's like, dude, what are we doing?
It's crazy to me, Christian. I don't like it. I don't like how the whole team makes you their bitch. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like
People
it.
don't. It's not.
And I give it out a lot. I give it out a lot. So like,
and he asked for it.
I
Like,
asked
he
for
loves,
it. Yeah.
He
Okay.
loves
I love a
the
good
confrontation.
I love a good.
Yes, he loves.
I
it.
love a good banter and confrontation. Yeah.
How do you pick your guy out? Like,
It's just whoever that day is there. They're getting it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain guys that I don't
Self-awareness.
like. I don't mess with Isaac Siamalu. Like, that's all serious conversations. Like,
who don't you mess with? Name your top 5 you don't mess with. I want to know. TJ's definitely one of them.
no, I'll mess with TJ. I don't mess with TJ. TJ messes with everybody. Like, he'll mess with everybody. Siamalu is definitely my number one. Like, I don't mess with Isaac. Like, I like Isaac. He's a great dude, great teammate, unbelievable player. I don't talk shit to Isaac.
Why?
He's my number one priority.
Isaac's more well kept to himself. He's
Okay.
quieter.
He's
and-
quieter. You gotta know your battles.
Right.
Man. That's one that I ain't winning. We're picking. So I'm not. He's probably the only one. Everybody else I mess with. I like messing with.
Who's your number one target? That's a better question.
Number one target to mess. Dirty Red. Dirty Red or Frey. I like Frey. I like getting on Frazier because he'll just like smile and be like, "I'm gonna kill you." I'm like, dude. He's like, and he literally will kill you. Sometimes I'm like, "All right, dude, I'm joking." I'm joking. Relax for a minute. Golly.
Oh man.
But no, we got a good locker room in there.
for sure.
I feel like we got a solid amount of guys.
I got one more. So I just want you to talk about. So this year has been an interesting year with the quarterback play that we've had, right? We've got a speed guy and a pocket guy. Can you explain, as an offensive lineman,
Hell
the
yeah.
difference between blocking for a pocket passer compared to a speed guy that's
Great
actually
question.
able to move around?
Good shit.
Yeah, I feel like they both have pros and cons to both.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like you know where Russ is gonna be in the pocket, which is nice.
Yeah.
But sometimes Justin, you know, if something happens, because it's inevitable every once in a while, the
Gotta hold
pocket's
that
gonna
block.
collapse or something's gonna happen, and Justin can get out of it with his legs,
Mhm.
and Russ can too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, he's got a little bit.
But it's definitely a different dynamic blocking for the two.
Yeah.
But I think they both do a really good job.
You're kind of doing more of like an option, like I guess it's hard to make that make sense, but you're doing more of like an option when you're blocking for a Justin Fields, because you also have to, keep in the back of your head, he might be rolling out, so you got to hold your block a little bit more or take on another guy. Like, 'cause if he swings from behind you, like you're done with this guy, now you got to go find the next guy.
Yeah,
Right.
More
and
zone.
when Justin gets
Yeah,
out of the
zone block,
pocket, it's
yeah.
like he's kind of on his own.
Yeah,
like I'm
okay.
gonna run after him
Yeah.
as fast
Yeah.
as I can, but I'm not
See
getting
ya.
adjusted, and he's doing whatever he does, and
Oh yeah.
it's pretty amazing seeing him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
went
more
into that.
more zone block scheme because we're running more like
That's the right term.
zone read type shit. Is that?
Yeah,
Or is that my kinda
we
wrong
do
on
that
that?
with both guys, zone read stuff and reading the backside the end.
Do you
or
like?
whatever.
Do you like? Would you prefer blocking in a zone scheme or like more of like a power running, pulling?
This guy likes running.
He
How
likes
about-
the
yeah,
power.
he likes pulling.
Obviously, every O lineman likes to pull.
Yeah.
But some teams are really good at defending gap scheme, and some teams are really good at defending like zone stuff.
Yeah.
And so I just want whatever we're running to work. You know, I just want to win.
Yeah.
Really.
And do you like my last one here? Do you like the role is now that the cornerbacks
Yeah.
they
Can't cut them.
cut your legs out? Do you like that now, or like are you just eating on those plays? Like,
I mean, yeah,
what's your vibe?
that's great. I feel like cutting
Yeah,
sometimes
it
just
sucks.
diving at somebody's knees
yeah,
isn't the
Okay.
best route.
Yeah.
But it's definitely nice that we're able to pull in space, and
Yeah.
these corners kind of have to either make us miss or take us on.
No, like that.
You
That's
wanna
not even
knock
Trey's
fair.
mad.
Yeah, I'm mad, bro, because I'd be the guy out there going against that. I'm not dealing with that. I'm cutting you down. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Are you
15.
dealing with that?
Yeah, him.
Head
Yeah. I'm looking right into the camera. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm cutting them too. What the hell? Oh shit. Well,
that's
Mace, I
great.
appreciate it, boys. Thank you. Season 1, episode 20. Mason McCormick out of
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls,
Sioux Falls.
Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Tune in next time. Like, share. Bang!